soldiers trudged down road in a strange country. They were on their way home from the wars. Besides being cold and tired, they were quite hungry. In fact, they had eaten nothing for 3 days.
What I wouldn't give for a good bite to eat.
Said the first.
And a bed to sleep in.
Said the second.
But all that is impossible. We must march on.
So on they marched, and suddenly, ahead of them, they saw the lights of a village.
Look, maybe we can get a bite to eat there.
And a loft to sleep in.
No harm in asking.
Now the peasants of that village feared strangers. When they heard the two soldiers coming down the road, they talked among themselves.
Look, here come two soldiers.
Soldiers are always hungry.
But we have little enough for ourselves.
What are we going to do?
So they hurried to hide their food. They pushed sacks of barley under the hay in the lofts and lowered buckets of milk down the wells. They spread old quilts over the carabins and hid cabbages and potatoes under the bed. They hung their meat in the cellars. They hid all they had to eat. Then they waited. The soldiers went first to the house of Scotty and Francois.
Good evening to you. Could you spare a bit of food for our hungry pair of soldiers?
But Captain, we've had no food ourselves for 3 days.
Said Scotty. Francois made a sad face.
It's been a poor harvest.
The soldiers then went to Albert and Louise.
Good people, we are 2 hungry soldiers. Do you have a bit of food you can spare us and perhaps a corner we can sleep?
We gave all of our food to the soldiers who came through last time.
Said Albert.
Beds are awful.
Sorry, guys.
The soldiers then went to Treece and Marie's.
I was hungry.
Can you spare a bit of food?
There has been a poor harvest and the grain must be kept for seed.
So not a villager had a bite of food to spare. The soldiers stood in the street inside. They looked as hungry as they could. They talked together, then the first soldier called out,
Good people, we are 2 soldiers in a strange land. We ask you for food and you have no food. Then we'll have to make stone soup.
Stone soup? That would be something to know about.
First, we'll need a large pot.
How else but to have enough?
The peasants brought the largest pot they could find.
That's none too large, but it'll do.
And now, water to fill it and fire to heat it.
It took many buckets of water to fill the pot. A fire was built in the village square and the pot set to boil.
And now, peasants, if you please, may I have 3 large, round, smooth stones.
Those were easy enough to find. The peasants' eyes grew round as they watched the soldiers drop the stones into the pot.
Any soup needs salt and pepper.
Marie ran to fetch salt and pepper.
You know, stones like these generally make good soup, but oh, if we had a carrot or 2, it would be much better.
I think I might have a carrot or 2.
Said Francois, and off she ran. She came back with her apron full of carrots from the bin beneath the red quilt.
A good stone soup needs cabbage, but no one's asking for what we don't have.
I think I might have a cabbage or 2.
Said Louise, and off she ran. She came back with 3 large cabbages from under her bed.
Oh, if only we had a bit of beef and a few potatoes, this soup would be much better.
The peasants thought that over and ran to fetch their beef and potatoes.
Oh, such a rich man's soup from a few stones. It must be magic.
Indeed. Ah, yes, but if we only had a little barley and a cup of milk, this soup would be fit for the king himself. Indeed, the king asked for such a soup when last he dined with us.
But no one's asking for what we don't have.
But the peasants ran to fetch the barley from the lofts and the milk from the wells. As the soldiers stirred the barley and the milk in the steaming broth, the peasants stared. And at last...
It's soup!
All of you shall have a taste. But first, a table must be spread.
A great table is placed in the village square. And all around with lighted torches.
Such a soup!
How good it smells.
Truly fit for a king.
But then the peasants said...
Such a soup requires bread. And a roast. And cider.
And soon a great banquet was laid, and everyone sat down to eat. Never had there been such a feast. Never had the peasants tasted such a soup.
And fancy that, made from stones.